weekend I managed to get out with some dear friends of mine. We took our cameras and went down to VanDusen Gardens in Vancouver and had a lovely day. So I decided to give myself a little bit of a challenge. I have a macro lens for my older camera, and I have a zoom lens on my newer camera, and I decided I would challenge myself to use the telephoto lens to do all my flower photography on this trip. Take some pictures to show you the difference between the macro and the telephoto. So the first thing to know about the macro versus telephoto is the magnification. So this is one of the big benefits of a macro lens, is that the magnification can be 1:1. On my telephoto lens, the magnification is more like 1:4. The other big differences is the minimum focus distance. So with my macro lens, I can be about a foot away from my subject. From the sensor to the object can be just 1 foot. With my telephoto lens, the minimum is about a foot and a half, so about 1/3 of a meter. So we'll have a look and do a bit of a test to see what those two look like. So I managed to find some mini daffodils at the side of a parking lot. So the settings will be the same: f4, ISO 100, and I've got this one set at 105 millimeters. Let's see how that looks. So with this telephoto lens, you can see that the minimum focusing distance is 1.5 feet, so I was about 1.5 feet away. And when you look at the image, you can see that the area that's included in the frame is much bigger. When you look at the background, you can see that beautiful bokeh. It's got all kinds of texture in it, and it's beautiful. It's just going to be different from the macro lens. My macro lens. So now I'm keeping it at the same settings: f4, ISO 100. I've got the macro 105 lens on. We'll have a look at that one. So when you look at the result using the macro lens, you can see just how much closer in it is to the flower. It's beautiful. It's come a lot closer, and look at that bokeh. That soft blur in the background. It's really beautiful. It's totally different from the other lens, isn't it? One of the biggest benefits of having a macro lens is that you can get even closer. So I took it off the tripod and just handheld, I moved in even closer to the flower. I was able to get down to the minimum focusing distance on the macro, which is 1 foot from sensor to the flower, and grabbed a shot that way. Beautiful, beautiful bokeh. It's even softer than when it's further away, and is just a beautiful, beautiful softness and gentleness to that flower, I think. So then, just for fun, I decided to do a couple more pictures. I switched over to my other camera that is higher megapixels, and I took the same shot. So now on that camera, my lens is a 24 to 200, and the minimum focusing distance is actually more like 2.5 feet. So I had to be even further away. When I took the shot, you can see that there's lots of area in the picture. So then I took that image and I cropped it down to the same number of pixels as from my other camera, and you can see that it comes in very similar to what I was getting on the 24 to 120 lens on my other Nikon camera. So after our day out at the garden, we finished up with a quick lunch at the Garden Cafe at VanDusen Gardens, and we had a lovely meal. By the time we got there, we finished our photography, there wasn't a whole lot of choice left, but I think we all had salads. I had a spinach salad with pecans and goat cheese and some dried fruit in it, and it was absolutely delicious. Very good. The one thing I would recommend, they make a signature blueberry mint lemonade, and that I would highly recommend. Very good. So those are my food recommendations for today. So while we were at the garden, Francis was out flying and he snapped this quick photo from his cell phone. I just love the way the trees are coming through the fog down by the bridge. It's beautiful, really beautiful. So he had a lovely day too. Thanks for coming along and watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.